Hello. Welcome to Emerald Lake. Hi, it's Raven. Hello, hellos. Good to see yous. Alrighty. I like to see all the little hellos. All the little emotes saying hellos are always so sweet. Okay, hello peoples. We're doing a fairy tale read at the start again. I will be I will be back for tonight's second stream, and we'll be doing spoopies again. Recommended SCPs. But last stream we finished off the Red Fairy book, which was the last of the first collection of the fairy tale collections, because there's a bunch of books that all the stories are from on the website. Groups of groups, and then in a bigger group, and then a third group all over it. Anyway, and so we were trying to decide what would be the next little grouping that we would be reading from. The peoples in the comments were saying in the chat, we should do this, I should read this, and I have decided I will read another thing. I have moved from the fairy tales to the folk tales. To me, they're very small difference, little tiny word difference. I didn't change the stream title because same thing, but it is a difference. And so we are moving to folk tales, and these ones, their collection of folk tales, give more specific places, because they're less vague and fairy and more specific place stories. Hi! And so the book that we are getting into is in the Native American Folktale collection. If you couldn't guess why I'm doing that, well, reminder who I am. I'm a deer woman. I am from Native American Folktale. So that is why we are doing this. Oh, I've done it again where I forgot to let the ad run so that I didn't have to do the break. I usually do this during the starting soon. I have to run an ad. But okay. The point here is that we'll be reading from a book in that little collection that is called Old Indian Legends. You know, that's our last book was the Red Fairy book. This is called Old Indian Legends. And based on how many times they say Iktomi in their titles, I am going to assume that this is mostly Lakota Sioux stories, because that is a Lakota Sioux character. But okay. Oh, I have to run ad. Boop. Ad run. What does we say? I'm on lunch at work. Perfect thing to help me down a bit. Help me calm down a bit. I'm sorry you are not calm at work. Happy to help. We will do what we will do. I encountered something that reminded me of Deer Woman from a different culture. I definitely want to check that out. Fet, let me know more about that. Workin' and Lurkin' the Cage special. Yes, very classic. I got in at 2 p.m., so not really for me. Oh, yeah. That is fair. That is fair timing then. Alright. Waiting for ad. Because Raven was slow. Forgot that we have to run ad in the before time. Twice now I have done this. Disappointing. Oh well. I'm excited. We're doing folktales again. Yee. Okay. Okay, there we are. The ad is done. Hello again. I was just reading the messages out loud. So, yes. The first story from our next book here. Oh no! Sorry. Freaking yawns. Oh, very busy today. My department is kind of in shambles. Oh, uh-oh. Good luck then with that. Sorry. Yes, hopefully I am helping with the comm in your lunch then. The first story, haha. Yes. So like I said, it is old Indian legends, a Native American folktale, and our first story is drum rolls. Da 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 da. Iktomi and the ducks. We got duckies involved in this one. And yes, if you didn't know, like I said, I just said there's a lot of Iktomi titles for this book. I would guess that this is mostly, if not entirely, Lakota Sioux stories, because Iktomi is from the Lakota Sioux. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. We start off with a description of Iktomi and everything, so I'm excited. Okay. All right. Iktomi is a spider fairy. He wears brown deerskin leggings with long soft fringes on either side and tiny beaded moccasins on his feet. Because I guess he's a spider, he's going to have lots of feet. I don't know. His long black hair is parted in the middle and wrapped with red bands. Very red. Each round braid hangs over a small brown ear and falls forward over his shoulders. Ooh, yeah, retail. We recently lost one of our best workers, so they left for better work. 2 hires didn't even last a week. Ooh, darn. Oof. Good luck. I wish you all of the lucks. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. Ooh, he even paints his funny face with red and yellow and draws big black rings around his eyes. He wears a deerskin jacket with bright colored beads sewed tightly on it. Iktomi dresses like a real Dakota brave. In truth, his paint and deerskins are the best part of him, if ever dress is part of man or fairy. Iktomi is a wily fellow. His hands are always kept in mischief. He prefers to spread a snare rather than to earn the smallest thing with honest hunting. Hey, that is very backhanded there. Snares are not wrong. Goodness. Rude. Set the traps. Don't go and get mad at people for that. Okay. Hi, Darkstorm. Hello. Our stories immediately got a little bit of sass in it. Oh, goodness. Okay. Why, he laughs outright with wide open mouth when some simple folk are caught in a trap, sure and fast. Only here for a while. That's all right. The sassy stories are great. Yeah. Well, he is known to be a trickster, so we're going to be a little annoyed with him whenever we're talking about him, because, like, there's always somebody that he's pissed off. He's always pissed you off at least once with these tricksters. You never have a trickster that isn't at least a little bit of a villain to you, whoever you are that's reading it. Okay. He never dreams another lives so bright as he, so he thinks other people don't live as great as him, I guess. Often his own conceit leads him hard against the common sense of simpler people. Poor Iktomi cannot help being a little imp, and so long as he is a naughty fairy, he cannot find a single friend. He's a naughty fairy. Oh, how am I? I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited to get into. We opened up a different version of stories. We're not doing fairy tales. We're doing folk tales from Native Americans. Badge? Why mad at Badge? What? I'm so confused, Yar. Okay. Brain. Where? I lost it. Oh, yes. He was sassy. He was being sassy. No one helps him when he is in trouble. No one really loves him. Oh, that's sad. Oh no. This is this is really backhanded. Storyteller, whoever has written this, you're being very harsh. Those who come to admire his handsome beaded jacket and long fringed leggings soon go away sick and tired of his vain, vain words and heartless laughter. This sounds like this was someone that was Iktomi's friend and was like, he's such a shitty friend. I'm out. I'm so out. Okay. Thus, Iktomi lives alone in a cone-shaped wigwam upon the plain. One day he sat hungry within his teepee. Suddenly he rushed out, dragging after him his blanket, quickly spreading it on the ground. He tore up dry, tall grass with both his hands and tossed it fast into the blanket. Tying all the four corners together in a knot, he threw the light bundle of grass over his shoulder. What is he up to now? Very feverishly, he's got something. Okay. Snatching up a slender willow stick with his free left hand, he started off with a hop and a leap. From side to side bounced the bundle on his back as he ran light-footed over the uneven ground. Soon he came to the edge of the great level land. On the hilltop he paused for breath. With wicked smacks of his dry parched lips, as if tasting some tender meat, he looked straight into space, towards the marshy river bottom. With a thin palm shading his eyes from the western sun, he peered far away into the lowlands, munching his own cheeks all the while. "Aha!" grunted he, satisfied with what he saw. A group of wild ducks were dancing and feasting in the marshes, with wings outspread tip to tip. They moved up and down in a large circle. Within the ring, around a small drum, Oh, okay. So there's ducks dancing and feasting in a circle. I'm just confusing because it says around a small drum. The ducks have a drum. Good for them. Okay. Within the ring, around a small drum, sat the chosen singers, nodding their heads and blinking their eyes. Oh, okay. Go sleep, Darkstorm. Good night. Sleep well. Okay. They sang in unison a merry dance song and beat a lively tattoo on the drum. Following a winding footpath nearby came a bent figure of a Dakota brave. He bore on his back a very large bundle. With a willow cane he propped himself up as he staggered along beneath his burden. Okay, I'm seeing where the trick is starting to come in. You goofy man. Okay. "Ho, who is there?" called out a curious old duck, still bobbing up and down in the circular dance. Hereupon the drummers stretched their necks till they strangled their song for a look at the stranger passer-by. "Ho, Iktomi, old fellow, pray tell us what you carry in your blanket." "Do not hurry off. Stop, halt," urged one of the singers. "Stop, stay, show us what is in your blanket," cried out other voices. And again, he was staggering along beneath his burden. So we know what he's carrying, it's just grass. But he's doing a big like, "Oh, it's so heavy." And they're all like, "Oh goodness, what?" Okay. Hi, peoples. Hello, millennial. Hello, little forehead. Okay. My freaking yawning attacks. Okay. So Iktomi's pretending it's real heavy. And the ducks are like, "Whoa, what the heck you got there?" "My friends, I must not spoil your dance. Oh, you would not care to see if you only knew what is in my blanket. Sing on, dance on. I must not show you what I carry on my back," answered Iktomi, nudging his own sides with his elbows. This reply broke up the ring entirely. Now all the ducks crowded about Iktomi. We must see what you carry. We must know what is in your blanket, they shouted in both his ears. Some even brushed their wings against the mysterious bundle. Nudging himself again, wily Iktomi said, "My friends, 'tis only a pack of songs I carry in my blanket." Ooh, interesting. "Oh, then let us hear your songs," cried the curious ducks. At length, Iktomi consented to sing his songs. With delight, all the ducks flapped their wings and cried together, "Hoye, hoye," I think. Iktomi, with great care, laid down his bundle on the ground. "I will build first a round straw house, for I never sing my songs in the open air," said he. Quickly he bent green willow sticks, planting both ends of each pole into the earth. These he covered with reeds and grasses. Soon the straw hut was ready. One by one the fat ducks waddled in through a small opening, which was the only entrance way. Beside the door Iktomi stood smiling, as the ducks, eyeing his bundle of songs, strutted into the hut. In a strange, low voice Iktomi began his queer old tunes. All the ducks sat round-eyed in a circle about the mysterious singer. It was dim in that straw hut, for Iktomi had not forgot to cover up the small entrance-way. All of a sudden his song burst into full voice. As the startled ducks sat uneasily on the ground, Iktomi changed his tune into a minor strain. These were the words he sang. And they have, I'm guessing because it was Lakota Sioux, I'm guessing this is Lakota Sioux language, but it says something like, I'm going to definitely pronounce all of this very wrong. Istokumus Wasipo Tuwaya Tun Wampi Kinhan Ista Nisasapi Ta, which is, it says, I have translation. With eyes closed you must dance. He who dares to open his eyes, forever red eyes shall have. So I will post the whole words and translate. Come on, there you go. There it is. So he was very low, more brighter tone singing, and then it turned into a very harsh, loud, sad tone. And it says, with eyes closed you must dance. He who dares to open his eyes, forever red eyes shall have. So everybody close your eyes and dance, and if you open your eyes, you're going to have red eyes. Okay. Up rose the circle of seated ducks, and holding their wings close against their sides, began to dance to the rhythm of Iktomi's song and drum. With eyes closed they did dance. Iktomi ceased to beat his drum. He began to sing louder and faster. He seemed to be moving about in the center of the ring. No duck dared blink a wink. Blink a wink? Each one shut his eyes very tight and danced even harder. Up and down, shifting to the right of them, they hopped, round and round in that blind dance. It was a difficult dance for the curious folk. At length one of the dancers could close his eyes no longer. It was Skiska, I think, who peeped the least tiny blink at Iktomi within the center of the circle. "Oh, oh!" squawked he in awful terror. "Run, fly! Iktomi is twisting your heads and breaking your necks. Run out and fly, fly!" he cried. Hereupon the ducks opened their eyes. There beside Iktomi's bundle of songs lay half of their crowd, flat on their backs. So he made them dance blind and was killing each duck slowly. Oh, goodness. Out they flew through the opening Skikska had made when he rushed forth with his alarm. Skiska. Yeah. But as they soared high into the blue sky, they cried to one another, "Oh, your eyes are red, red, and yours are red, red." For the warning words of the magic minor strain had proven true. "Aha!" laughed Iktomi, untying the four corners of his blanket. I shall sit no more hungry within my dwelling." Homeward he trudged along with nice fat ducks in his blanket. He left the little straw hut for the rains and winds to pull down. Having reached his own tepee on the high level lands, Iktomi kindled a large fire out of doors. He planted sharp-pointed sticks around the leaping flames. On each stake he fastened a duck to roast. A few he buried under the ashes to bake. Disappearing within his tepee, he came out again with some huge seashells. These were his dishes. Placing one under each roasting duck, he muttered, "The sweet fat oozing will taste well with the hard-cooked breasts." Heaping more willows upon the fire, Iktomi sat down on the ground with crossed shins. A long chin between his knees pointed toward the red flames, while his eyes were on the browning ducks. "Hello, Vzog." "Hello." Just above his ankles, he clasped and unclasped his long bony fingers. Now and then he sniffed impatiently the savory odor. The brisk wind which stirred the fire also played with a squeaky old tree beside Iktomi's wigwam. From side to side the tree was swaying and crying in an old man's voice, "Help! I'll break! I'll fall!" Iktomi shrugged his great shoulders, but did not once take his eyes from the ducks. The dripping of amber oil into the pearly dishes, drop by drop, pleased his hungry eyes. Still the old tree man called for help. "What sound is it that makes my ear ache?" exclaimed Iktomi, holding a hand on his ear. "Sorry, I'm early." What? I see no sense. But okay, hello, Frigid. Hello. No need for apologize. Hello. Okay. He rose and looked around. Does seem to be Lakota. Yes, I do. I figured. He rose and looked around. The squeaking came from the tree. Then he began climbing the tree to find the disagreeable sound. Better than being late. Sure, Frigid, but you're not late. I don't take attendance. Okay. Oh yes, he's trying to find the tree. The squeaking came from the tree. Then he began climbing the tree. Oh no. Sorry, yawns. He began climbing the tree to find the disagreeable sound. He placed his foot right on a cracked limb without seeing it. Just then a whiff of wind came rushing by and pressed together the broken edges. There in a strong wooden hand, Iktomi's foot was caught. He stuck. Oh, sorry, I'm not late. You goodness. I'm pretty sure it's missing, yeah, the little extras. I don't think that this, when they make these little collections, I don't think they tend to put the accents and stuff. Anyway, okay. Right, yes, his foot. "Oh, my foot is crushed," he howled like a coward. How is that being a coward? He just said, "Ah, my foot." As far as I know. Okay, whatever. In vain he pulled and puffed to free himself. While sitting a prisoner in the tree, he spied, through his tears, a pack of gray wolves roaming over the level lands. Waving his hands toward them, he called in his loudest voice, "Hey, gray wolves, don't you come here. I'm caught fast in the tree so that my duck feast is getting cold. Don't you come eat up my meal." Sir, that is exactly what they're going to do. Now? The leader of the pack, upon hearing Iktomi's words, turned to his comrades and said, "Ah, hear the foolish fellow. He says he has a duck feast to be eaten." Oh my goodness. I keep yawning. Oh, wake up. He says he has a duck feast to be eaten. Let us hurry there for our share. Away bounded the wolves toward Iktomi's lodge. Of course. Ooh, by by TW? What? I found a little folklore story of a mythological animal from pre-Hispanic Mexico. I think you might like it. I probably will. And it could end up in the stories, but I don't know if it would. In the collections that I have. They weren't very specific. I could look again. Hold on. We will find this again. No. Don't get distracted, Raven. Finish this now and then go back. I will look in a minute. Okay. Brain. Where was I? Oh, yes. He said, let's go. From the tree, Iktomi watched the hungry wolves eat up his nicely browned, fat ducks. His foot pained him more and more. He heard them crack the small, round bones with their strong, long teeth and eat out the oily marrow. Now severe pain shot up from his foot and through his whole body. Hin, 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 sobbed Iktomi. Real tears washed brown streaks across his red-painted cheeks. Smacking their lips, the wolves began to leave the place when Iktomi cried out like a pouting child, "At least you have left my baking under the ashes." "Dummy, don't say it!" "Ho, po!" shouted the mischievous wolves. "He says more ducks are to be found under the ashes. Come, let us have our fill this once." Running back to the dead fire, they pawed out the ducks with such rude haste that a cloud of ashes rose like gray smoke over them. "Hin, hin, hin," moaned Iktomi when the wolves had scampered off. All too late, the sturdy breeze returned and, passing by, pulled apart the broken edges of the tree. Iktomi was released, but alas, he had no duck feast. Taking notes on what not to do. Yes. Okay, we can go and steal this, but we should probably be smart about it. Don't tell the wolves when we get stuck in the tree. But okay, there you go, the end. There was Iktomi and the ducks. Okay. Let me look. We have South American folktales. We have North American folktales. Lots of European ones, Australian ones, Asian ones, African ones. They are not terribly specific. And I'm seeing in the North American ones, they just say Canadian, Native American, and U.S. But maybe in the Native American ones, no, I'm going to guess you will not get any of that. Definitely send it over, Brady. Ooh, it's a dog that lived by the river, made a howl similar to a crying baby. That sounds super familiar to me. Yeah, and he would pull them into the... I think I might have heard of that one. I don't think I've read it, though. I think I've just, heard it referred to. I'm putting that in. It's an official recommendation from Brady. I will have to check how to pronounce. So that will probably take some work. Yes, it's creature from Aztec folklore. Hee hee hee. I like it. Okay. It is on the list. European on my shoe. Stop it, frigid. Similar creatures where I lived caused wampus cats. Caused wampus cats? Because people had those creatures, there became other creatures? And what is a wampus? I know. Okay. Oh, you got bonked. Oh no, you bonked. Okay. But okay, there was our first story. I'll start doing redeems. I see we've just got Generium sending me. Awoo-e. So too? I'm going to check on the odd lines, because I will tell you, typically they don't put TS in the easy understand explanation on how to pronounce, because that one is sometimes very confusing. That is how it is. Okay. All right. But either way, I'm going to be careful. All right. A lot more redeems. Cool. And a 5. You rolled a 5. Not so great. Ooh, a nice Riz. Not great Riz, but a respectable Riz. Okay. Alright, I am doing triggers. I should move the things around. Here we go. Oh, it's all good, Brady. Where was stuffs? Okay. First off, I'll do a hydrate and then our trigger word, because there's always some goofiness from Generium. Ooh, dang, 99. That's a good number. Okay. Thank you for hydrate. They asked if I knew anything about theoretical physics. I said I had a theoretical degree in physics. They said you're hired. So dumb. Okay, and then we'll do keys. There is lots of noise going on. I am not happy with it. Oh my goodness. Quiets everywhere. Please. Okay, keys. Hey, Turtle Boy! Your other numbers weren't great, but you got a 20! Okay, I has keys. 4 keys. Do. There we go. Alright. Keys time. Sorry. Oh. Oh my goodness. Brain. Okay, there was keys. Sniffs. Sniffs. There's so much going on in the chats, but I'm sniffs. Okay. Alright, there was Sniffs. Where is... Okay, Hummings is next, right. Alright. Lots of hugs. I see the can't sleep. I'm sorry, Darkstorm, that you can't sleep. I'm a little lost on achievement unlocked to a new tomorrow, but, okay. Is this like a game, or is this you joke of like, tomorrow? I am lost. Oh my goodness! Happy birthday, Darkstorm! Ah! Where is a party? I need a party. I need a dance. I need a birthday. Birthday. I googled first one and it was that one. Party, party, party. Happy birthday. Okay. Yay. I like everybody's little parties. Oh, wow, the haha ball. That looks fun. You're doing raining money. Where is the money? But parties. Goodness. Oh, that's fun. Like the little bass. Oh. Okay. I'm humming. I will be humming. Okay. Oh, I know I don't hum. I think it's I think it's okay for me to do it, but anyway. Oh, thank you for the follow. Bill Zim 37, thank you. Welcome, welcome. You laughs. Okay. Oh, look at the little wish. That's so cute. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'll do more humming with yay! Happy birthday. Okay. Yes, I will be back on later tonight, Turtle Boy. You have to get back to work soon, that is fine. Glad everybody says thank you. Doing all the... Sorry. Ugh. I'm back for now, and today, this place, happy to chill here a bit. Tag and Turt. What? Okay. Yes. Alright. I'll do a little bit more hums. I'll do a different song and then we'll be done. head's hurt. See ya. Okay. I will do one rage puff. Sorry. Oh, goodness. And then page rough. And I think we will move on. Oh, I have to say no to the Kabuto. I didn't unpause my... I have to repause my origami. I have not done that. Y'all have to go away. All the origamis. You're not for now. I has no origami stream. What is going on? Quickly pausing everything because I know I'll forget if I don't do it right now. You know you're Raven. I will not remember. Okay. Good. Alright. No. Go away. Not that. Stop. Ah! Okay. A rage puff. And then other things. And then next story. It's getting loud, so I apologize. That one found a natural, build and spike and then little decompression at the end. It was a whole story with that rage puff. Anyway. Okay. There we go. Page ruffle. And then I'll move on for now. Start with little book, and then we'll do the other one. Now we'll do the big book. There was our fluffy book. And now we'll go to the next story. Okay. Everybody move around. Alright. What is the next story? Oh, yes. Iktomi's blanket. Ooh, it looks like we're just following a full storyline. It's picking up right off of the wolves. Literally the second sentence, it says, "Those bad, bad gray wolves, they ate up my fat ducks." So, looks like it's kind of gonna work like chapters, which is, I love it. That's great. Okay. Yeah, Iktomi's blanket. Doo-doo. Will Iktomi ever get food? That's the big question. If we're gonna be watching or reading a whole story about Iktomi stuff. And we know he's hungry. He wanted his his ducks, and the wolves got them. Those bad, bad wolves. Those bad, bad gray wolves. Okay. Here we go. Alone within his teepee sat Iktomi. The sun was but a hand's breadth from the western edge of land. You're fine, Cage. Okay. Those bad, bad gray wolves, they ate up all my nice fat ducks. Sorry. They ate up all my nice fat ducks, muttered he, rocking his body to and fro. He was cuddling the evil memory he bore those hungry wolves. He was cuddling an evil memory. That's so funny of an image. That's so cool. Raise his hand. We don't take attendance, Frigid. Stop being a tattletale. Okay. I just love this little idea that he's cuddling the evil memory. It's such an odd juxtaposition, yes, but it's so like, I've never heard anything like say that you cuddle a memory. I know holding on to it, I know sitting with it, but never cuddling a memory. And then it's an evil memory that he bears, hungry wolf. It's so cute. Just giggling at Cage and Frigid fight. Go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. Okay. At last he ceased to sway his body backward and forward, but sat still and stiff as a stone image. Oh, that sounds like a bad idea, but okay. Oh, I'll go to Inyan, the great-grandfather, and pray for food, he exclaimed. Woo. I already slept with a ghost hugging me. This is light work. You what? Okay. Lol, those shroom people. Yes, they go and disappear into the hedge like a Homer Simpson, I guess. Okay. I'm like, alrighty. Ghost hug, but okay. Just, yeah, that's all Brady has to explain. Okay. Alright. We're going to great-grandfather to pray for food. At once he hurried forth from his teepee, and with his blanket over one shoulder, over one shoulder, drew nigh to a huge rock on a hillside. With half-crouching, half-running strides, he fell upon Inyan with outspread hands. Grandfather, pity me, I'm hungry, I am starving. Give me food. Great-grandfather, give me meat to eat, he cried. All the while he stroked and caressed the face of the great stone god. Oh, and Brady explains, a ghost came to my house one night when I was coming back from work, and I passed the cemetery. I can send the full story on Discord. Okay, sure. We'll get to Bratty's ghost story at some point too. Goodness. All right. Okay. Iktomi is caressing the face of the great stone god. The all-powerful great spirit who makes the trees and grass can hear the voice of those who pray in many varied ways. The hearing of Inyan, the large hard stone, was the most sought after. He was the great-grandfather, for he had sat upon the hillside many, many seasons. He had seen the prairie put on a snow-white blanket and then change it for a bright green robe more than 1,000 times. Ooh, hey, thank you for the follow, Shark Nathan. Not Nathan, but Nathan. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. We'll put a pin in this conversation and continue once the day of the reading comes. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Yes. The great grandfather has seen the seasons change more than 1,000 times. Still unaffected by the myriad moons, he rested on the everlasting hill, listening to the prayers of Indian warriors. Before the finding of the magic arrow, he had sat there. Now, as Iktomi prayed and wept before the great-grandfather, the sky in the west was red like a glowing face. We did say that the sun was setting, so. The sunset poured a soft, mellow light upon the huge gray stone and the solitary figure beside it. It was the smile of the Great Spirit upon the grandfather and the wayward child. The prayer was heard. Iktomi knew it. Now, grandfather, accept my offering. 'Tis all I have, said Iktomi as he spread his half-worn blanket upon Inyan's cold shoulders. Then Iktomi, happy with the smile of the sunset sky, followed a footpath leading toward a thickened ravine. He had not gone many paces into the shrubbery, when before him lay a freshly wounded deer. Ooh! This is the answer from the red western sky, cried Iktomi with hands uplifted. Okay, lurk away, Cage. Slipping a long thin blade from out his belt, he cut large chunks of choice meat. Sharpening some willow sticks, he planted them around a wood pile he had ready to kindle. On those stakes he meant to roast the venison. Oh, he meant to. Sounds like something's gonna be a problem. Oh no. While he was rubbing briskly 2 long sticks to start a fire, the sun in the west fell out of the sky below the edge of land. Twilight was over all. Iktomi felt the cold night air upon his bare neck and shoulders. Ooh, he shivered as he wiped his knife on the grass. Tucking it in a beaded case hanging from his belt, Iktomi stood erect, looking about. He shivered again. Ooh, I am cold. I wish I had my blanket, whispered he. Oh no. I can guess where this is going, based on the he intended. This is gonna go bad. Oh, thank you for the follow, Yoko-chan. Yoko-chan 00. Thank you. Welcome in. Hi. Okay. So he's wishing he had his blankets. He whispered that, hovering over the pile of dry sticks and the sharp stakes around it. Suddenly he paused and dropped his hands at his sides. I knew it. The old great-grandfather does not feel the cold as I do. He does not need my old blanket as I do. I wish I had not given it to him. Oh, I think I'll run up there and take it back, said he, pointing his long chin toward the large gray stone. You dum-dum. No! If you are offering something, you don't take it back. How do you not know the rules? Okay. Oh. Iktomi in the warm sunshine had no need of his blanket, and it had been very easy to part with a thing which he could not miss. But the chilly night wind quite froze his ardent thank offering. Thus, running up the hillside, his teeth chattering all the way, he drew near to Inyan, the sacred symbol. Seizing one corner of the half-worn blanket, Iktomi pulled it off with a jerk. Give my blanket back, old grandfather. You do not need it. I do. This was very wrong. The story then being sassy. This was very wrong. Yet Iktomi did it, for his wit was not wisdom. Drawing the blanket tight over his shoulders, he descended the hill with hurrying feet. He was soon upon the edge of the ravine. A young moon, like a bright bent bow, climbed up from the southwest horizon a little way into the sky. In this pale light, Iktomi stood motionless as a ghost amid the thicket. His wood pile was not yet kindled. His pointed stakes were still bare as he had left them. But where was the deer? The venison had felt warm in his hands a moment ago. It was gone. Only the dry rib bones lay on the ground like giant fingers from an open grave. Iktomi was troubled. At length, stooping over the white dried bones, he took hold of one and shook it. The bones, loose in their sockets, rattled together at his touch. Iktomi let go his hold. He sprang back amazed, and though he wore a blanket, his teeth chattered more than ever. Then his blunted sense will surprise you, little reader, for instead of being grieved that he had taken back his blanket, he cried aloud, "Hin, hin, hin, if only I had eaten the venison before going for my blanket." This story even is like, and I tell you, even he had no sense. I like the sassy story. He was a dumbass and said this instead of that. I love it. Okay. Those tears no longer moved the hand of the generous giver. They were selfish tears. The Great Spirit does not heed them, ever. That's so cute. Oh, perfect, Granny. Thank you for that. Ooh. Thank you for the follow, Naruto Uzumaki 3654. Thank you for the follow. Welcome and hi. Yes, hopefully we have you lined up for that. I will make sure to note that it is your story, and so we should wait for you when we read it. But oh my goodness, that was Iktomi's blanket. What a silly dude. He was not thinking. Yeah, and then we have a bunch more of Iktomi. The next one is Iktomi and the Muskrat, so soon enough he'll have another animal to meet. Naruto is here. I don't know if it's the Naruto. Thonks not thonking. Yeah, he clearly was not thonking. What a goof. Oh, Iktomi, you dum-dum. Alright. But now let's move to triggers and such. I'll give you $500 for a kiss from Hinata. You little craze. Frigid. I think you're about to be scammed. But I mean, you were the one that offered first. I don't know. Silly little Goosian. Little bit. Alright, I will start with the singing frog. We're doing more redeems. And then I'll do a rage puffing, and then whatever else pops up. There we go. Singing frog. Ooh, scissors after. Okay. Here we go with our singing frog. There we go. now he is quiet. Frigid. Oh, I concern. I think you will be disappointed. Just gonna move around. One must be in a good position before you start rage puffing. Ooh, bottle blown a bit. Okay. But let's do rage puffing. And then it'll be scissors. And then that. Alright. I know. It was a good yawn first. Disappointment is my middle name. Oh no. Frigid. I'm so sad for you, but also that's so silly. No. Alright. What was Brain doing? Right. Rage puffing. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot? At least this one. No! No, that's illegal, Bratty. Don't say that. No. No. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna do rage puffing now. Is what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm angry. I'm rage puffing. Kidding me, please. Oh no, I'm good. Are you good? Should I call an ambulance? Taha, you are not here. That was frigid disappointment Miwa. That's good. Yes, that's it. Hey, how are you today? I'm good. You joined in on a very interesting thing. It was the trigger called rage puffing. And it sounds like many things to people. I guess to Taha, it sounds like there should be an ambulance. Some people says it sounds like beatboxing at different times. I say it sounds like a Karen losing a fight. It is when you are rage and you are puffing because you are not saying words, you're just instead. I love this. Okay. It was scissors, yes. By the way, that is a trigger that came about. Someone misread something and they thought it was rage puffing, and then it was actually not, but there you go. So we've just kind of done this ever since. A rage puff because of a mix-up. Sounds like me going up 5 flights of stairs. The word you're looking for is flabbergasted. Yeah, sounds like flabbergasted a little bit, but like, to me, flabbergasted definitely stops after a couple of sayings. Like, you do a couple of puffs and then you're like, done. A proper Karen losing a fight will never stop, and therefore would rage puff for a good solid minute. But okay, we're doing scissor snips now. Never mind. Okay. Flabbergasted by pure anger. Yes. Okay, here we go. like an opossum dying. Does that mean that you've heard that? I have not heard that. And are you sure they were properly dying and not just fake dying? It is an opossum. Sorry, okay, Snips. Yeah, I was reading names Bond, James Bond, Bond to James to Bond, Bond, Bames non, Bames non having a strong colobondulance. I love that bit. It's such a cute bit. Okay, alright. That was Scissor Snips. We'll go to Bottle Blow. I have to get my breathing back or else I will actually pass out. Good. Yawn helping me get to a good spot. Breathing. Okay. 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 Yes, of course I know James Bond having a strong colobondulance. It's a great bit. Okay. Alright. Like I said, I have to get my breathing. If you're not breathing right, you can really run out of air when you're doing these, like, bottle blow, jug blowing things. So, okay. Alright. Oh, that was 2 dots. Oh yes, the model is only a half the model. It's sad. I'm sorry. I have only a half model. Um. So, cough. One day, hopefully, I get a full model. But this is what we have for now, and I try to not let things glitch. But sometimes, especially when I have my like different instruments and move things around, it'll cut in the it'll interrupt the feed, and so then it'll be like, oh, where'd you go? I don't see the person is gone, everyone scream, scatter. And so the model will move wherever it does, because well, that's what I imagine. The little pieces of the computer are freaking out. They're like, oh no, where'd she go? As if they're a bunch of babies. They don't understand. Kind of like, where'd you go? Here I am. Anyway, sorry. I love when you sneeze and it just goes small. Yes, it does that. Okay, bye-bye, Frigid. We'll see you another time. You didn't have the budget, Taha? Yeah, I has very little of the monies. I don't have very much. I started my streaming and someone else paid for the desk, because I had a very broken, or well, not very broken, but falling apart desk. And then literally while on stream, the old chair I had broke. And now I have a new chair because I had very generous viewers and friends here. And I love all of the supports. You never need to do the financial supports, but I appreciate it lots when you do it. It is very much, I will use what you have given. But yes, no, I do not has the budget. like a video game breaking sound. I don't know that sound. I will have to find. But okay. That was our bottle blow, and now we have card dealing. Oh, yes. Let's move this around. We always need a little bit more room on the desk. Ooh, what? There we go. Trust me, put everything on red. Funny, because my cards are blue and orange. I've shown them on stream when I do the origami hand cams, and you can see some of my sounds, and the cards are a bicycle blue and orange pack. So put everything on red. Where's the red? I see no red. Oh no. But okay. Well, what am I doing? I usually do this. Okay, I gotta move stuff. I'm getting distracted. What do? Okay. Okay, so there was that. Oh. I'm so lost, Braddy. What? And then Taha's asking about singing frog. Actual frog that sings. No, it's not that. It's a little wooden frog. It's an instrument. I'll do it real quick. I just did, but here it is. He's got a little mallet that you could watch. And then, woo! You just pull the mallet across his little ridges on his back, and it's supposed to sound like they are ribbiting or singing. Boop! Mallet back in his mouth. Shut up, frog. Okay. Back to your little mantelpiece. Oh yeah, 'cause of the cards, I know. But I'm like, what direction is this going? Yeah, I fucking wacky some words. What? Okay, that thing. Yeah, it's the little wooden frogs. Okay. First we had singing bull. So I'll do that, and then we did just do singing frog, didn't we? Right? We just did it, or was it? is my brain slow right now? We're gonna do singing bowl, and then we'll go to stories, and then we'll go back. All the hugs and all the love, Raven. Thank you. With the brain being a little like, I don't know which way we're going. I appreciate that. It doesn't know what's happening right now. Okay, come here, clicky clacky cardboard keyboard. Okay, yep. I told you the brain is doing that right now. Singing bowl. Here we go. All right, get you ready. Okay. Oh, and we still haven't done the water in the bowl thing. We should test that out. I could test that out right now. Let's do a normal singing bowl, and then a little test. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I broke that. I was reading. Go off to bed. Go ahead, sleep well. Take care. I'm going to splash just a tiny bit of water into bowl. I will have to wipe it off after. But okay, here's a little tiny bit of water in bowl. Let's see how it affects sound. I think I was more nervous about balancing because I have to keep it in my hand. So that made it a little bit harder to start up. But I don't think it changed. But I did use only a tiny bit. I'm risking making a mess, but I'm going to pour more water into it. And then when I'm done, I'm going to have to take a break. Just to quickly dump out water and such. But okay, we're going to try this. Also, I'll have to refill my hydration bottle. Okay. Can you hear that? Okay. There's a full puddle here. I filled it up to the little rings of the sun here inside it. If you've seen my origami hand cams where I've shown it off, you know the little design. I filled it up to one of the designs in there. Here we go. Oh, jeez. When I get it high enough up into that highest register of the ringing, it makes a little bit of ripples in the water, but it's kind of hard to see because I'm moving it all around still. That's cool, but not much difference on the sound. Well, all right, there you go. And now I smell copper because the water is lifting up some of that smell. But okay, there is Singing Bowl. We're going to move to the next story, but we're going to take a quick little BRB while Raven dumps out and refills water. What a fun adventure. All right, sorry. I felt like I had to do that. Someone had recommended it last time, and I have things set up so that wasn't so much of a scare today, so I went for it. Okay, be right back. And sorry, I was supposed to say this too. Off to bed? Okay, good night, Dimda. We'll see you another time. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, I am back. All right. So now the next story. Woohoo! Back to Iktomi and his shenanigans. He'd be doing lots of nonsense. That much we know. Um, what was it? And the muskrat, right? Come on. That reminded me, the other day I saw an animal that I was not sure what it was. It was very weird. It looked like a cat and a beaver had a baby. It was very weird. And it ran like a member of the weasels. So it was like a couple layers of what the heck just happened. Shenaniganery? Yes. Shenaniganery. Okay, sorry. Oh. All right, Iktomi and the muskrat. Beside a white lake, beneath a large grown willow tree. Sorry, I forgot to write this down. Iktomi and the muskrat. I must keep track of all of the stories. All right. Beside a white lake, beneath a large grown willow tree, sat Iktomi on the bare ground. The heap of smoldering ashes told of a recent open fire. With ankles crossed together around a pot of soup, Iktomi bent over some delicious boiled fish. Where did you get this? What happened? What happened since we left you cold with the bones of that deer? What'd you do to get the soup? Fast he dipped his blackhorn soup into the soup. Sorry, blackhorn spoon into the soup. Raven, are you okay? Your brain is not working. Maybe do call the bondulance. Okay. Iktomi had no regular meal times. Often, when he was hungry, he went without food. Well hid between the lake and the wild rice, he looked nowhere save into the pot of fish. Okay, not knowing when the next meal would be, he meant to eat enough now to last some time. How, my friend, said a voice out of the wild rice. Iktomi started. He almost choked with his soup. Make me spit out my soup, dude. Don't do that. He peeped. No, he peered through the long reeds from where he sat with his longhorn spoon in midair. How, my friend, said the voice again, this time close at his side. Iktomi turned, and there stood a dripping muskrat who had just come out of the lake. Oh, okay. Oh, it is my friend who startled me. I wondered if among the wild rice some spirit was talking. spirit voice was talking. How, my friend, said Iktomi. The muskrat stood smiling. On his lips hung a ready, yes, my friend, when Iktomi would ask, my friend, will you sit down beside me and share my food? That was the custom of the plains people. Yet Iktomi sat silent. So Muskrat is waiting and waiting. And Iktomi is like, hi. And Muskrat's like, are you going to invite me? And Iktomi's like, hi. I like that image. Sorry. Okay. He hummed an old dance song and beat gently on the edge of the pot with his buffalo horn spoon. The muskrat began to feel awkward before such lack of hospitality and wished himself under water. Why you gotta make the poor little muskrat feel so awkward he wants to go drown? Not drown, but go swim again. After many heartthrobs, Iktomi stopped drumming with his horn ladle, and looking upward into the muskrat's face, he said, my friend, let us run a race to see who shall win this pot of fish. If I win, I shall not need to share it with you. If you win, you shall have half of it. Springing to his feet, Iktomi began at once to tighten the belt about his waist. My friend Ikto, I cannot run a race with you. I am not a swift runner, and you are nimble as a deer. We shall not run any race together, answered the hungry muskrat. For a moment Iktomi stood with a hand on his long, protruding chin. Whatever sassy person is writing this, they are like really going after Iktomi's chin. They're like, Iktomi has a severe chin. We've said his long chin like in every story now. He's got a long chin. Anyway, sorry. His eyes were fixed upon something in the air. The muskrat looked out of the corners of his eyes without moving his head. He watched the wily Iktomi concocting a plot. Yes, yes, said Iktomi, suddenly turning his gaze upon the unwelcome visitor. I shall carry a large stone on my back. That will slacken my usual speed, and the race will be a fair one. Saying this, he laid a firm hand upon the muskrat's shoulder and started off along the edge of the lake. When they reached the opposite side, Iktomi pried about in search of a heavy stone. He found one half buried in the shallow water. Pulling it upon dry land, he wrapped it in his blanket. Now, my friend, you shall run on the left side of the lake, I on the other. The race is for the boiled fish in yonder kettle, said Iktomi. The muskrat helped to lift the heavy stone upon Iktomi's back. Then they parted. Each took a narrow path through the tall reeds fringing the shore. Iktomi found his load a heavy one. Perspiration hung like beads on his brow. His chest heaved hard and fast. He looked across the lake to see how far the muskrat had gone, but nowhere did he see any sign of him. I have a feeling I know what happened, but anyway. Well, he is running low under the wild rice, said he. Yet, as he scanned the tall grasses on the lake shore, he saw not one stir as if to make way for the runner. Ah, has he gone so fast ahead that he disturbed the grasses in his trail, that the disturbed grasses in his trail have quieted again? Exclaimed Iktomi. With that thought he quickly dropped the heavy stone. No more of this, said he, patting his chest with both hands. Off with a springing bound he ran swiftly toward the goal. Tufts of reed and grass fell flat under his feet. Hardly had they raised their heads when Iktomi was many paces gone. Soon he reached the heap of cold ashes. Iktomi halted stiff, as if he had struck an invisible cliff. His black eyes showed a ring of white about them as he stared at the empty ground. There was no pot of boiled fish. There was no waterman in sight. Oh, if only I had shared my food like a real Dakota, I would not have lost it all. Why did I not know the muskrat would run through the water? He swims faster than I could ever run. That is what he has done. He has laughed at me for carrying a weight on my back, while he shot hither like an arrow. Crying thus to himself, Iktomi stepped to the water's brink. He stooped forward with a hand on each bent knee and peeped far into the deep water. There, he exclaimed, I see you, my friend, sitting with your ankles wound around my little pot of fish. My friend, I am hungry. Give me a bone. Ha ha ha, laughed the waterman, the muskrat. The sound did not rise up out of the lake, for it came down from overhead. With his hands still on his knees, Iktomi turned his face upward into the great willow tree. Opening wide his mouth, he begged, my friend, give me a bone to gnaw. Ha ha, laughed the muskrat, and leaning over the limb he sat upon, he let fall a sharp bone which dropped right into Iktomi's throat. Iktomi almost choked to death before he could get it out. In the tree, the muskrat sat laughing loud. Next time, say to a visiting friend, be seated beside me, my friend. Let me share with you my food. The end. The way it said the sharp bone dropped into his throat, I very much thought they were saying that he was stabbed, and I was like, oh geez, oh no. No, his mouth was open, it fell down his throat. And he was going to choke. But wow, oh my gosh. See, this one gives a very clear moral. I just want to say our little jump over to these folk tales is giving much nicer, moral of the stories than the fairy tales did, because they were backwards. This one is just be generous when you have a friend that visits. Give them some of your food. That's all you got to do. Whereas the other ones were obey no matter what. Unless you're this, then always be stingy and what? Unclear and back and forth and beauty issues and all of that. This is much better. Okay. Well, that was Iktomi and the muskrat. We'll go back to triggers. I like that these are also all very quick. They're nice little stories. It's the Coyote next, and it's super short. Actually, it's short enough that I will read that one now. I will not do a break for the triggers just yet. It is so fast. From seeing the beginning, you can see the end. I have no need to scroll. Okay. Ooh, wooden tray up. Iktomi and the Coyote. Okay. Afar off upon a large level land, a summer sun was shining bright. Here and there, over the rolling green, were tall bunches of coarse gray weeds. Iktomi, in his fringed buckskins, walked alone, across the prairie with a black bare head glossy in the sunlight. He walked through the grass without following any well-worn footpath. From one large bunch of coarse weeds to another, he found his way about the great plain. He lifted his foot lightly and placed it gently forward like a wildcat prowling noiselessly through the thick grass. He stopped a few steps away from a very large bunch of wild sage. From shoulder to shoulder he tilted his head. Still farther he bent from side to side, first low over one hip, then over the other. Far forward he stooped, stretching his long, thin neck like a duck, to see what lay under a fur coat beyond the bunch of coarse grass. Ooh. Gonna have to get going. Ooh, okay, go get food. See you later, Yar. Bye-bye. So he's looking at the fur coat. A sleek, gray-faced prairie wolf. His pointed black nose tucked in between his 4 feet drawn snugly together, his handsome bushy tail wound over his nose and feet, a coyote fast asleep in the shadow of a bunch of grass. This is what Iktomi spied. Carefully he raised one foot and cautiously reached out with his toes. Gently he lifted the foot behind and placed it before the other. Thus he came nearer and nearer to the round fur ball lying motionless under the sage grass. Now Iktomi stood beside it, looking at the closed eyelids that did not quiver the least bit. Pressing his lips into straight lines and nodding his head slowly, he bent over the wolf. He held his ear close to the coyote's nose, but not a breath of air stirred from it. Ooh. Dead, he said at last. Dead, but not long since he ran over these plains. See, there in his paw is caught a fresh feather. He is nice fat meat. Taking hold of the paw with the bird feather fast on it, he exclaimed, "Why, he is still warm! I'll carry him to my dwelling and have a roast for my evening meal. Aha!" he laughed, as he seized the coyote by its 2 forepaws and its 2 hind feet and swung them overhead across his shoulders. The wolf was large, and the tepee was far across the prairie. Iktomi trudged along with his burden, smacking his hungry lips together. He blinked his eyes hard to keep out the salty perspiration streaming down his face. All the while, the coyote on his back lay gazing into the sky with wide-open eyes. His long white teeth fairly gleamed as he smiled and smiled. To ride on one's own feet is tiresome, but to be carried like a warrior from a brave fight is great fun, said the coyote in his heart. He had never been borne on anyone's back before, and the new experience delighted him. He lay there lazily on Iktomi's shoulders, now and then blinking blue winks. Did you never see a birdie blink a blue wink? This is how it first became a saying among the plains people. When a bird stands aloof watching your strange ways, a thin bluish-white tissue slips quickly over its eyes, and as quickly off again, so quick that you think it was only a mysterious blue wink. Sometimes when children grow drowsy, they blink blue winks, while others who are too proud to look with friendly eyes upon people blink in this cold bird manner. They're referring to like the extra eyelid, of course, but like fun. The coyote was affected by both sleepiness and pride. His winks were almost as blue as the sky. In the midst of his new pleasure, the swaying moon ceased. Iktomi had reached his dwelling place. The coyote felt drowsy no longer, for in the next instant he was slipping out of Iktomi's hand. He was falling through space, and then he struck the ground with such a bump he did not wish to breathe for a while. He wondered what Iktomi would do. Thus he lay still where he fell. Humming a dance song, one from his bundle of mystery songs, Iktomi hopped and darted about in an imaginary dance and feast. He gathered dry willow sticks and broke them in 2 against his knee. He built a large fire out of doors. The flames leaped up high in red and yellow streaks. Now Iktomi returned to the coyote, who had been looking on through his eyelashes. Taking him again by his paws and hind feet, he swung him to and fro. Then, as the wolf swung toward the red flames, Iktomi let him go. Once again the coyote fell through space. Hot air smote his nostrils. He saw red dancing fire, and now he struck a bed of cracking embers. With a quick turn he leaped out of the flames. From his heels were scattered a shower of red coals upon Iktomi's bare arms and shoulders. Dumbfounded, Iktomi thought he was a spirit. He saw a spirit walk out of the fire. His jaws fell apart. He thrust a palm into his face, hard over his mouth. He could scarce keep from shrieking. Rolling over and over on the grass and rubbing the sides of his head against the ground, the coyote soon put out the fire on his fur. Iktomi's eyes were almost ready to jump out of his head as he stood cooling a burn on his brown arm with his breath. Sitting on his haunches on the opposite side of the fire from where Iktomi stood, the coyote began to laugh at him. "Another day, my friend. Do not take too much for granted. Make sure the enemy is stone dead before you make a fire." Another very clear moral there. Then off he ran so swiftly that his long bushy tail hung out in a straight line with his back. That was so cute. Okay, now, yes, we move on to triggers. Okay. Woo. We have the singing frog, the scissor snips, and the tappy taps. Lovely. That was indeed short. Yeah, they're not terribly long. Okay. Whoa. That was about to say swinging frog. What? There we go. All right. Should move that around. Okay. There was our frog. Now we'll bring back the scissors. Okay. Thank you for the follow. Selassie, thank you. Welcome, welcome in. Hi. Okay, there is our scissor snips, and then we'll go to tappy taps. I have to pull out the tray though. It's kind of full of stuffs. One moment, please. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness, you couldn't see that it said that. I had typed out all the little titles, but I forget to hit the button. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, here's the wooden tray. there was our tray. All right. With that was all of our redeems. And we'll move on to the next story. Those were good. That was your redeem, Fet. So, good call. I like the little wooden tray. I don't always have it at the ready. But okay, story again. That was very nice. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. What is the next bit of nonsense Iktomi is up to? Iktomi and the Fawn. Woohoo! Here we go. Where did you get those deer skin clothes? Now that we're seeing a deer. Okay. Iktomi and... oh wait, I need to have... the Fawn. Alright. Look at that deer. Look at that deer say hello to that camera with a little blep. Look at you. Look at your little face. Iktomi and the Fawn. Okay, here we go. Up you go right there. Alright. In one of his wanderings through the wooded lands, so we're out of the prairies now, back home, Iktomi saw a rare bird sitting high in a treetop. Its long fan-like tail feathers had caught all the beautiful colors of the rainbow. Handsome in the glistening summer sun sat the bird of rainbow plumage. Iktomi hurried hither with his eyes fast on the bird. He stood beneath the tree looking long and wistfully at the peacock's bright feathers. Oh, okay, so this is a peacock. At length he heaved a sigh and began, "Oh, I wish I had such pretty feathers. How I wish I were not I. If only I were a handsome feathered creature, how happy I would be. I'd be so glad to sit upon a very high tree and bask in the summer sun like you," said he suddenly, pointing his bony finger upward toward the peacock, who was eyeing the stranger below, turning his head from side to side. "I beg of you, make me into a bird with green and purple feathers like yours," implored Iktomi, tired now of playing the brave and beaded buckskins. The peacock then spoke to Iktomi. "I have a magic power. My touch will change you in a moment to the most beautiful peacock if you can keep one condition. Lucky you, you not only found a peacock, but one that can turn you into one like you want." Okay. "Yes, yes," shouted Iktomi, jumping up and down, patting his lips with his palm, which caused his voice to vibrate in a peculiar fashion. "Yes, yes, I could keep 10 conditions if only you would change me into a bird with long, bright tail feathers. Oh, I am so ugly. I am so tired of being myself." "Aw, you're not ugly, buddy. Please don't say that." But okay. Our Iktomi thinks he's ugly. Maybe it's because our storyteller kept telling him he has a long chin. Sassy, rude little storyteller. Okay. "I'm tired of being up myself. Change me, do." Oh. "You remind me of bread. You can be sweet and salty, nice and soft, or hard and tough, but in every scenario, you're perfect." "Oh, that's very nice. Bread is good." But hello, the mane of Galley. I was going to say Gale, but it's Galley. Letters moving around. But thank you. That's very nice. Well, great. Poor Iktomi doesn't want to be a person anymore, or a spider, fairy, or whatever. Anyway, make him a peacock. All right. Hereupon the peacock spread out both his wings, and scarce moving them, he hailed slowly down upon the ground. Right beside Iktomi he alighted. Very low in Iktomi's ear the peacock whispered, "Are you willing to keep one condition, though hard it be?" "Yes, yes, I've told you 10 of them if need be," exclaimed Iktomi with some impatience. "Then I pronounce you a handsome feathered bird. No longer are you Iktomi the mischief maker." Saying this, the peacock touched Iktomi with the tips of his wings. Iktomi vanished at the touch. There stood beneath the tree 2 handsome peacocks. while one of the pair strutted about with a head turned aside as if dazzled by his own bright tinted tail feathers. The other bird soared slowly upward. He sat quiet and unconscious of his gay plumage. He seemed content to perch there on a large limb in the warm sunshine. After a little while the vain peacock, dizzy with his bright colors, spread out his wings and lit on the same branch as the elder bird. Our vain peacock, that would be Iktomi. Ooh, hello, thank you, welcome in. The original vain, hello. The vain peacock? It is Vain, but yes. Welcome though. Thank you for the follow. Hi, welcome in. Okay. Oh, he exclaimed. How hard to fly. Brightly tinted feathers are handsome, but I wish they were light enough to fly. Just there the elder bird interrupted him. That is the one condition. Never to fly like other birds. Upon the day you try to fly, you shall be changed into your former self. Well, he did just fly a little bit. He flew up onto the branch, but if you didn't know, they can't fly like other birds. You won't see the peacock flying in a V with the ducks, right? So like just a little bit of a fly, just a little bit like a chicken. That's why the woman is called a peahen and they are called a peacock, like a chicken and a... Anyway, okay. Oh, he exclaimed. No. Oh, what a shame that bright feathers cannot fly into the sky, cried the peacock. Already he grew restless. He longed to soar through space. He yearned to fly above the trees, high upward to the sun. I really tried to hide that one. That did not work. Okay. Oh, there I see a flock of birds flying thither. Oh, he said, flapping his wings. I must try my wings. I am tired of bright tail feathers. I want to try my wings. No, no, clucked the elder bird. The flock of chattering birds flew by with their whirring wings. Oop, oop, called some to their mates. Possessed by an irrepressible impulse, the Iktomi peacock called out, Hey, I want to come. Wait for me. And with that he gave a lunge into the air. The flock of flying feathers wheeled about and lowered over the tree whence came the peacock's cry. Only one rare bird sat on the tree, and beneath, on the ground, stood a brave in brown buckskins. 'Cause you're a dum-dum and you didn't listen to the frickin' bird. I am my old self again, groaned Iktomi in a sad voice. Make me over, pretty bird. Try me this once again, he pleaded in vain. I-N again. Old Iktomi wants to fly. Ah, we cannot wait for him, sang the birds as they flew away. Muttering unhappy vows to himself, Iktomi had not gone far when he chanced upon a bunch of long, slender arrows. One by one they rose in the air and shot a straight line over the prairie. Others shot up into the blue sky and were soon lost to sight. Only one was left. He was making ready for his flight when Iktomi rushed upon him and wailed, I want to be an arrow. Make me into an arrow. I want to pierce the blue overhead. I want to strike yonder summer sun in its center. Make me into an arrow. Can you keep a condition? One condition, though hard it be, the arrow turned to ask. Yes, yes, shouted Iktomi, delighted. Hereupon the slender arrow tapped him gently with his sharp flint beak. There was no Iktomi, but 2 arrows stood ready to fly. Now, young arrow, this is the one condition. Your flight must always be in a straight line. Never turn a curve, nor jump about like a young fawn, said the arrow magician. He spoke slowly and sternly. At once he set about to teach the new arrow how to shoot in a long straight line. This is the way to pierce the blue overhead, said he, and off he spun into the sky. While he was gone, a herd of deer came trotting by. Behind them played the young fawns together. They frolicked about like kittens. They bounced on all fours like balls. Then they pitched forward, kicking their heels in the air. The Iktomi arrow watched them so happy on the ground, Looking quickly up into the sky, he said in his heart, the magician is out of sight. I'll just romp and frolic with these fawns until he returns. Fawns, friends, do not fear me. I want to jump and leap with you. I long to be happy as you are, said he. The young fawns stopped with stiff legs and stared at the speaking arrow with large, brown, wondering eyes. See, I can jump as well as you, went Iktomi. He gave one tiny leap like a fawn. All of a sudden the fawns snorted and with extended nostrils at what they beheld. There among them stood Iktomi in brown buckskins, and the strange talking arrow was gone. He is not listening. Oh, I am myself, my old self, cried Iktomi, pinching himself and plucking imaginary pieces out of his jacket. Hin, I wanted to fly. The real arrow now returned to the earth. He alighted very near Iktomi. From the high sky he had seen the fawns playing on the green. He had seen Iktomi make his one leap, and the charm was broken. Iktomi became his former self. Arrow, my friend, change me once more, begged Iktomi. No, no more, replied the arrow. Then away he shot through the air in the direction his comrades had flown. By this time the fawns gathered close around Iktomi. They poked their noses at him, trying to know who he was. Iktomi's tears were like a spring shower. A new desire dried them quickly away. Stepping boldly to the largest fawn, he looked closely at the little brown spots all over the furry face. Oh, Fawn, what beautiful brown spots on your face! Fawn, dear little Fawn, can you tell me how those brown spots were made on your face? Yes, said the fawn. When I was very, very small, my mother marked them on my face with a red-hot fire. She dug a large hole in the ground and made a soft bed of grass and twigs in it. Then she placed me gently there. She covered me over with dry, sweet grass and piled dry cedars on top. From a neighbor's fire she brought hither a red, red ember. This she tucked carefully in at my head. This is how the brown spots were made on my face. Oh. Okay. Oh, Fawn would have... No, I did it made on my... Now, Fawn, my friend, will you do the same for me? Won't you mark my face with brown spots just like yours? Asked Iktomi, always eager to be like other people. Clearly, we've seen that today. Yes, I can dig the ground and fill it with dry grass and sticks. If you will jump into the pit, I'll cover you with sweet-smelling grass and cedar wood, answered the fawn. Say, interrupted Ikto, will you be sure to cover me with a great deal of dry grass and twigs? You will make sure that the spots will be as brown as those you wear. Oh yes, I'll pile up grass and willows once oftener than my mother did. Oh, so even more than my mother did. Now let us dig the hole, pull the grass, and gather sticks, cried Iktomi in glee. Thus, with his own hands, he aids in making his grave. Yep, I was like, I don't think you got your spots from a fire, of course. But, I think I know where it's going. The fawns tricked Iktomi. They tricked the trickster. Woo, woo, woo. Look at us, Team Deer. Okay. After the hole was dug and cushioned with grass, Iktomi, muttering something about brown spots, leaped down into it. Lengthwise, flat on his back, he lay. While the fawn covered him over with cedars, a far-away voice came up through them. Brown, brown spots to wear forever. Oh, Iktomi. Just want some freckles. A red ember was tucked under the dry grass. Off scampered the fawns after their mothers. And when a great distance away they looked backwards, they saw a blue smoke writhing upward till it vanished in the blue ether. Is that Iktomi's spirit? Asked one fawn of another. No, I think he would jump out before he could burn into smoke and cinders, answered his comrade. Which I think is sarcastic. I think they watched Iktomi's spirit float away. I think they watched him die. Oh my goodness. Oh, Iktomi, you little dude. No. Wow. I like that one a lot. That was a heck of Iktomi story. Well. Oh, jeez, a yawn. Um. Oh, an ad's about to start. I will let an ad run, but here is another break for redeems, and then we'll have another story. We could probably pull off even 2 more before we are done our stream because these are all very quick. Okay, here's the ad. Boop. Ooh, humming. I adjust. I make all the sounds. My chair is very creaky. But here we go. Alright. And ad is done. Okay, welcome back. Alright, we have 1 redeem. And I will do that redeem right away. We have humming, so I'll do humming. Oh, come on. There you go. Alright. Oh, goodness, what the heck? There we go. Huh. There we go with humming. Alright, if we have no other redeems, I'll move on to the next story. No. So many yawns, all of the yawns. I'm not recovering from the yawning attacks. But okay. I will move on to the next story then. And it does not say Iktomi. We are, we watched him die, I guess. This is the badger and the bear. Badger and the bear. And then I type it all out again over here. Or I copy paste. That's also an option. And the bear. Ta-da! Alright. The badger and the bear. On the edge of a forest there lived a large family of badgers. In the ground their dwelling was made. Its walls and roof were covered with rocks and straw. Old Father Badger was a great hunter. He knew well how to track the deer and buffalo. Every day he came home carrying on his back some wild game. This kept Mother Badger very busy, and the baby badgers were very chubby. Aw. While the well-fed children played about digging little make-believe dwellings, their mother hung thin sliced meats upon low willow racks. As fast as the meats were dried and seasoned by sun and wind, she packed them carefully away in a large thick bag. This bag was like a huge stiff envelope, but far more beautiful to see, for it was painted all over with many bright colors. These firmly tied bags of dried meat were laid upon the rocks in the walls of the dwelling. In this way they were both useful and decorative. One day Father Badger did not go off for a hunt. He stayed at home making new arrows. His children sat about him on the ground floor. Their small black eyes danced with delight as they watched the gay colors painted upon the arrows. All of a sudden there was a hard, heavy footfall near the entranceway. The oval-shaped doorframe was pushed aside. In stepped a large black foot with great big claws. Then the other clumsy foot came next. All the while the baby badgers stared hard at the unexpected comer. After the second foot, in peeped the head of a big black bear. His black nose was dry and parched. Silently he entered the dwelling and sat down on the ground by the doorway. His black eyes never left the painted bags on the rocky walls. He guessed what was in them. He was a very hungry bear. Seeing the racks of red meat hanging in the yard, he had come to visit the badger family. Though he was a stranger and his strong paws and jaws frightened the small badgers, the father said, How, friend, your lips and nose look feverish and hungry. Will you eat with us?" "Yes, my friend," said the bear, "I am starved. I saw your racks of red fresh meat, and knowing your heart is kind, I came hither." "Give me meat to eat, my friend." Hereupon the mother badger took long strides across the room, and as she had to pass in front of the strange visitor, she said, "Ah, Han, allow me to pass," which was an apology. How, replied the bear, drawing himself closer to the wall and crossing his shins together. Mother Badger chose the most tender red meat, and soon over a bed of coals she broiled the venison. That day the bear had all he could eat. At nightfall he rose, and smacking his lips together, that is the noisy way of saying the food was very good, he left the badger dwelling. The baby badgers, peeping through the door flap after the shaggy bear, saw him disappear into the woods nearby. Day after day the crackling of twigs in the forest told of heavy footsteps. Out would come the same black bear. He never lifted the door flap, but thrusting it aside, entered slowly in. Always in the same place by the entrance way, he sat down with crossed shins. His daily visits were so regular that Mother Badger placed a fur rug in his place. She did not wish a guest in her dwelling to sit upon the bare, hard ground. At last, one time when the bear returned, his nose was bright and black, his coat was glossy, he had grown fat upon the badger's hospitality. As he entered the dwelling, a pair of wicked gleams shot out of his shaggy head. Surprised by the strange behavior of the guest who remained standing upon the rug, leaning his round back against the wall, Father Badger queried, "How, my friend? What?" The bear took one stride forward and shook his paw in the badger's face. "Oh no, I don't like this." He said, I am strong, very strong." Yes, so you are," replied the badger. From the farther end of the room, Mother Badger muttered over her beadwork, "Yes, you grew strong from our well-filled bowls." The bear smiled, showing a row of large, sharp teeth. "I have no dwelling. I have no bags of dry meat. I have no arrows. All these I have found here on this spot," said he, stamping his heavy foot. "I want them. "See, I am strong," repeated he, lifting both his terrible paws. Quietly the fat father badger spoke. "I fed you, I called you friend, though you came here a stranger and a beggar. For the sake of my little ones, leave us in peace." Mother Badger, in her excited way, had pierced hard through the buckskin and stuck her fingers repeatedly with her sharp awl until she had laid aside her work. Now, while her husband was talking to the bear, she motioned with her hands to the children. On tiptoe they hastened to her side. For reply came a low growl. It grew louder and more fierce. "Wow!" he roared, and by force hurled the badgers out. First the father badger, then the mother. The little badgers he tossed by pairs. He threw them hard upon the ground. Standing in the entranceway and showing his ugly teeth, he snarled, "Be gone!" The father and mother badger, having gained their feet, picked up their kicking little babes, and wailing aloud, drew the air into their flattened lungs till they could stand alone upon their feet. No sooner had the baby badgers caught their breath than they howled and shrieked with pain and fright. Ah, what a dismal cry was theirs, as the whole badger family went forth wailing from out their own dwelling. A little distance away from their stolen house, the father badger built a small round hut. He made it of bent willows and covered it with dry grass and twigs. This was shelter for the night, but alas, it was empty of food and arrows. All day Father Badger prowled through the forest, but without his arrows he could not get food for his children. Upon his return, the cry of the little ones for meat, the sad quiet of the mother with bowed head, hurt him like a poisoned arrow would. "I'll beg meat for you," said he in an unsteady voice. Covering his head and entire body in a long, loose robe, he halted beside the big black bear. The bear was slicing red meat to hang upon the rack. He did not pause for a look at the comer. As the badger stood there unrecognized, he saw that the bear had brought with him his whole family. Little cubs played under the high-hanging new meats. They laughed and pointed with their wee noses upward at the thin sliced meats upon the poles. "Have you no heart, Black Bear? My children are starving. Give me a small piece of meat for them," begged the badger. "Wow!" growled the angry bear, and pounced upon the badger. "Be gone," said he, and with his big hind foot he sent Father Badger sprawling on the ground. All the little ruffian bears hooted and shouted, "Ha ha!" to see the beggar fall upon his face. There was one, however, who did not even smile. He was the youngest cub. His fur coat was not as black and glossy as those his elders wore. The hair was dry and dingy. It looked more like kinky wool. He was the ugly cub. Poor little baby bear. He had always been laughed at by his older brothers. He could not help being himself. He could not change the differences between himself and his brothers. Thus again, though the rest laughed aloud at the badger's fall, he did not see the joke. His face was long and earnest. In his heart he was sad to see the badgers crying and starving. In his breast spread a burning desire to share his food with them. "I shall not ask my father for meat to give away. He would say, 'No,' then my brothers would laugh at me," said the ugly baby bear to himself. In an instant, as if his good intention had passed from him, he was singing happily and skipping around his father at work, singing in his small high voice and dragging his feet in long strides after him, as if a prankish spirit oozed out from his heels. He strayed off through the tall grass. He was ambling toward the small round hut, when directly in front of the entrance way made a quick side kick with his left hind leg. Lo, there fell into the badger's hut a piece of fresh meat. It was tough meat, full of sinews, yet it was the only piece he could take without his father's notice. Thus, having given meat to the hungry badgers, the ugly baby bear ran quickly away to his father again. On the following day, the father badger came back once more. He stood watching the big bear cutting thin slices of meat. "Give," he began, when the bear, turning upon him with a growl, thrust him cruelly aside. The badger fell on his hands. He fell where the grass was wet with the blood of the newly carved buffalo. His keen, starving eyes caught sight of a little red clot lying bright upon the green. Looking fearfully toward the bear and seeing his head was turned away, he snatched up the small, thick blood. Underneath his girdled blanket, he hid it in his hand. Ooh, what are you planning? On his return to his family, he said within himself, "I'll pray the Great Spirit to bless it." Thus he built a small round lodge. Sprinkling water upon the heated heap of sacred stones within, he made ready to purge his body. The buffalo blood, too, must be purified before I ask a blessing upon it, thought the badger. He carried it into the sacred vapor lodge. After placing it near the sacred stones, he sat down beside it. After a long silence, he muttered, "Great Spirit, bless this little buffalo blood." Then he arose, and with a quiet dignity stepped out of the lodge. Close behind him someone followed. The badger turned to look over his shoulder, and to his great joy he beheld a Dakota brave in handsome buckskins. In his hand he carried a magic arrow. Across his back dangled a long fringed quiver. In answer to the badger's prayer, the avenger had sprung from out the red globules. "My son!" exclaimed the badger with extended right hand. "How, father?" replied the brave. "I am your avenger." Immediately the badger told a sad story of his hungry little ones and the stingy bear. Listening closely, the young man stood looking steadily upon the ground. At length the father badger moved away. "Where?" queried the avenger. "My son, we have no food. I'm going again to beg for meat," answered the badger. "Then I go with you," replied the young brave. This made the badger happy. He was proud of his son. He was delighted to be called father by the first human creature. Ooh, I guess this is the first human. The bear saw the badger coming in the distance. He narrowed his eyes at the tall stranger walking beside him. He spied the arrow. At once he guessed it was the avenger of whom he had heard long, long ago. Oh. As they approached, the bear stood erect with a hand on his thigh. He smiled upon them. "How, badger, my friend? Here is my knife. Cut your favorite pieces from the deer," said he, holding out a long, thin blade. "How?" said the badger eagerly. He wondered what had inspired the big bear to such a generous deed. The young avenger waited till the badger took the long knife in his hand. Gazing full into the black bear's face, he said, "I come to do justice. You have returned only a knife to my poor father. Now return to him his dwelling." His voice was deep and powerful, and his black eyes burned a steady fire. The long, strong teeth of the bear rattled against each other, and his shaggy body shook with fear. "Ahow!" cried he, as if he had been shot. Running into the dwelling, he gasped, breathless and trembling, "Come out, all of you! This is the badger's dwelling. We must flee to the forest for fear of the avenger who carries the magic arrow." Out they hurried, all the bears, and disappeared into the woods. Singing and laughing, the badgers returned to their own dwelling. Then the avenger left them. "I go," said he in parting, "over the earth." The end. And that, I guess, is our last story, and we're wrapping up for the stream because we've got just like 5 minutes. Oh, thank you for the follow, Kindest Nero. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Hi. But I liked it. This was a good stream. I liked reading the folktales we found again. I liked this Iktomi stories. The sassy storyteller. But alright, I'll be back tonight with spooky stories, mostly SCPs. What am I saying? All SCPs recommended from viewers. They were nice. But alright, who shall we raid, Fett? You always know who we should raid. Oh, there was another humming. I can do a humming for a couple of minutes before we go. That sounds perfect. Okay. Let's do... Oh, I never changed it from trigger to... Never changed it from trigger to now reading. Oh well. You fell asleep? Ah! What a compliment. Alright. Let's do a bit more humming before we raid into Juahani? Anyway. Knocked out right here in my computer chair. Aw! Yay! I did it. Okay. That will be our humming. Thank you for the follow, Shockwave3896. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Alright. I guess now is time for raid. Woo! Okay. Let's get the raid messages. Oh, there they are. Bet is on it. And I'll copy my little Cozy Frog raid message. And we'll start for the raiding. Alright. There we go. Okay. Oh, they're so cute. Okay. We're going to raid over in just a minute. Everybody ready? Get your messages. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tonight. Yeah, we'll be doing the spooky stories and the SCPs. Alright, here we go. Ah, there we go. Alright. Thank you, thank you. Good night, everybody's, or whatever time zone. Happy time zone.